Okay, welcome everyone to episode 34 of the Wano Report. Today again I have with me my partner Mr. Morj. Good to have you back.
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay.
Nice. That's good enough. We'll go with that. We actually have, as you will know if you clicked on this video, have a big announcement to make. We decided to shift the Wano Report away from my channel to its own little channel, I guess. So for several reasons, and I guess we'll get into that at first, I guess. So the first thing is that since we're doing this podcast together, Morj and me, of course, it's just fairer to have this, on a channel we both have access to. It's easier to manage for the two of us, and so on and so forth. It also gives us a lot more freedom. We both had the impression that the podcast, while it's nice to publish as much content as possible on our channels, obviously, for you guys, we just had the feeling that the podcast was not especially healthy for our channels, since YouTube kind of developed this expectations that every video is very long, and then it kind of started hurting our content. So this is another reason. And the third reason is that we feel like this gives us now the opportunity, to tackle more content, maybe review other things, start maybe, if ever, another podcast regarding other anime topics or whatever it is. Just, have this channel to be creative with. So that's basically the most reasons I can come up with. Is there anything else?
No, that sounds good. Yeah, so this is the new channel Wano Reports will be on. Subscribe to this channel too.
Yeah, subscribe.
And yeah, also go subscribe to our other channels.
And to our Twitter.
Yeah.
And
follow on Twitter.
Yeah. Since we both kind of have a pretty busy weekend, we're gonna keep this one a bit shorter, but I guess it doesn't hurt to introduce this new channel to you guys, but of course also talk about the latest chapter. What's your impression of the new chapter?
Can we talk about the cover story first, or not?
Let's talk about the cover story.
That's what really bothered me. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah,
first,
let's get that out of the way.
really bothered me in the chapter. Like
Pound.
Yeah, dude, I loved Pound's death so much. Like that was one of my favorite moments of Whole Cake Island. Actually, I think it had like a Senor Pink sort of feel to me, where with obviously it wasn't a backstory necessarily, but it was Oda taking a very small minor character and then suddenly creating something like, I think, touching, at least for me, and just adding a lot more depth and a new dimension to him in a very short amount of time. And I thought it was actually one of the, not that there's a lot of death scenes in the series, but I thought it was, I guess by One Piece's, I thought it was a better death scene than Pedro, for example. And I thought that was actually a very mature way for Oda to write a death scene like that, which I would not have expected him to just do out of the blue with a character like that. Like, it was just different. It was not his usual style. And maybe that should have tipped me off to the fact that, like, oh, he's not actually dead. Like, it just, I don't know, because basically one of the biggest reasons is that I had hoped that, it's a few things, right? Like, I had hoped that Oda was well past doing that sort of thing with Pell. I know people talk about Pagaya. I honestly don't remember the Pagaya death fake out, so that doesn't bother me. Like, I don't remember it. I was young when I got to that part in Skypiea. I don't remember it. And Mr. 2 I never really thought was dead. So Pell was the one thing that really bothered me. It's a pain when you're reading a series and, like, you can never know, like, how much stake you should put into a death scene because you can't actually tell if the author has killed that character or not. So in my mind, like, Oda's been working ever since Pell to, like, rectify that image. So, Ace and Whitebeard, that's a great way to turn that around. And then stuff like Monet and Virgo and Pedro and Pound, like, I thought, okay, so now he's starting to kill off characters and we can assume that they're dead. But we can't. Like, that's so frustrating. And I thought that the way he had done Pound's death was a different style than he normally does. Nobody even knows who Pound is. I talked about this in Whole Cake Island video and stuff like that. It just felt like a more mature or different death scene that he normally does. And now it turns out that like not only did that death scene not happen, it's actually reversing it and going backwards in my mind to like older Oda who just wouldn't kill a character like that. Like, this is frustrating to see, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess I have two polarizing thoughts on that. So first of all, I do agree with you that I think it's unnecessary in a way, to bring his character back. And it didn't bother me as much, but because I generally, as much as I enjoy Wano so far in most of the chapters, the cover story has been something that's been annoying me constantly, basically since it started. Yes. So I usually also refrain from talking about it. The thing I guess I have to say, which makes me understand it, even though I don't like it too much, is firstly, Oda did hint at Pound wanting to meet Lola and wanting to meet his daughters, and like his daughters actually not being aware of him and being aware of his sacrifice. Well, I do agree that this would be a very mature way of handling a death, and very basically only the reader knows. It's still, I'm not surprised at least that Oda says no, these characters have to meet. So that's the one thing. And the second thing is I'm aware of how averse the editors at Shonen Jump are to characters' death. And I do believe that Ace and Whitebeard already were real exceptions to the rule that they usually really dislike characters dying and being killed off. So I could imagine, and this is just speculating, but I could imagine that the editors literally said, like Oda said, I want to kill this character off. And they were like, no, you can't do that. Like, then you only can kill off this many characters, in this time frame. And he was like, well, okay, I want to have this effect though. So like, I'm going to pretend I'm going to kill him off and then he's going to come back in a cover story. Like, I could imagine that this would be like a compromise.
I understand that. But then like, to me, it's just, I don't think that you should do the death scene then in the first place. So I think it's just, I don't think you can, you can't get both. Like, you can't, I don't like the idea. To me, it's similar with Pell. I would rather an author not, like, try, like, you can't just get the drama of the death scene, and, like, really try and tell the reader that this character died so that they feel that emotion, and then after that reverse it. I feel like that just, it's like trying to have your cake and eat it too, basically. It's just not, it's like a cheat, I guess, in terms of writing or something. Well, I don't know.
I guess especially, like a thing that's still cheesy, but is kind of understandable. Like with Pell, for example, it was still kind of unbelievable in a way, but at least Pell was a character like he was liked and beloved. And so when he came back, well, it might have been, oh, why, how did he survive this? This doesn't make sense. At least it was like, oh, but I'm kind of happy for that character that he's still alive in a way, right?
Yeah,
like,
I did like Pell more.
Well, I feel like with Pound, it was like the death was literally what, made him the most, or what gave him the most characterization. And it was like after he sacrificed himself, it was like, oh, I do have a lot more respect for this character now.
Yeah, that's what made it such a cool scene. Like, it was the death that made him a great character. Like, the way he went out without anybody knowing what he'd done, just for the sake of literally just for the sake of buying his kids a little more time.
So I'm also not happy with that. But as I said, I guess I do understand where Oda's coming from in a way, presumably. But yeah, let's maybe move on to good that we got that out of the way. Let's maybe move on to the chapter.
I had to get that out of the way. I couldn't talk about the rest.
Yeah, no, it's true. Which I think,
but I did really like the rest of the chapter.
Same. So I feel like the chapter was very good compared to the cover story, especially.
Oh yeah, everything was better than the cover story. Every page, every panel was better.
What do you like? Maybe let's start with the team ups. How do you like the at least initial fighting groups the Straw Hats have been split up into?
So the groups basically right now, if I recall in my head, basically, right, so we've got Luffy on his own, we've got Zoro on his own, or Luffy potentially meeting up with Kid, right? So we've got Luffy potentially with Kid, Zoro on his own, then a lot of Straw Hats stuffed into the tank, then Frankie and Brooke,
yep,
and then Robin and Jinbei, right?
Exactly.
Is pretty much everybody else stuffed into the tank?
Yeah, so I
With
do
Sanji sitting
believe
on
it's
it.
Sanji, Nami, Carrot, Usopp, Chopper, and I think Shinobu is in there, if I remember correctly.
Why is Shinobu?
I don't
Shinobu's
know
in
where
there,
she
but
came from. Straw Hat.
Sanji doesn't get
Straw Hat confirmed.
Okay. I don't know how the community would react if Shinobu became a straw. I don't think anyone would be happy. I don't think there's any Shinobu for Nakama people out there. I personally like. First of all, I like the comedy in this chapter. Sorry, the groups, right? Yeah, I'm saying I like the comedy in the context of I like how the groups were split up. Robin and Jinbei is an interesting duo because they are probably the two most mature Straw Hats. Am I right on that? Would you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I also think they're the most, I guess, bad. Maybe I don't know if badass is a good word for that, but the more, like you said, exciting, mature team. Though I gotta admit, like I do like the Frankie Brook
Frankie
team
and
up
Brooks
also.
are cool.
Yeah.
They're a cool combo. They were big in Thriller Bark, I think. Somewhat frequently in Thriller Bark. I think. I just feel like I've seen Frankie and Brooke together multiple times. I might be wrong on that.
Maybe. Might have been some time ago, yeah.
Yeah. I like that duo, and then everybody else being in the tank, I assume that they're gonna get more a bigger story just because there's more characters there. So I don't know how I feel about everybody being split up right away, but I assume it's not going to be for long, so it probably doesn't matter. And it's hard to write 12 characters all in the same space and everything like that.
Well, I personally rather see it. Like I was really happy when I saw that because I feel like that hopefully is the setup for the Straw Hats. Each getting their, or at least in the smaller groups getting their fights in. Hopefully in this battle, which is what we're all hoping for. And so it was kind of clear that at some point they would have to split up, like if we were to see individual fights. So I feel like Zoro and Luffy especially, as you said, like for Luffy, you could make the argument that he's meeting up with Kid. But Zoro in particular, like it's pretty clear that he will have his 1v1 at some point, if not multiple, right? And then, yeah, and I feel like, for example, like I wouldn't dislike Frankie and Brooke together taking on a stronger opponent. The same for Jinbei and Robin. So I would be okay with that. The only part I would still hope breaks up a little bit more is like the tank fraction. Because I feel like that's too many characters. Yeah.
I mean, is Sanji the only one outside the tank?
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder if that matters. Tank comes under attack or anything like that. Yeah. Potentially.
You mean like Sanji staying behind and like holding?
Yeah, something like that. He does stuff like that frequently, so I could see, like when Doflamingo popped out. I don't know. There's lots of times with that. But yeah, I think one thing that surprised me about this chapter, I'll also mention before I forget that I did like. I thought it was actually like the comedy was pretty good this chapter.
Spot on.
Among the strides, I think Brooke sitting on Frankie's bike was a great moment.
It was and also Zoro getting Zoro being gone basically.
Yes, Luffy being gone, Zoro being gone. That was great.
That's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I think I generally like that. Robin was pretty cold this chapter. There was some funny stuff among the strides this chapter. But beyond that, I think I'm generally surprised that it seems at least that the action's not going to start for a little bit. Right? I was thinking next chapter, the chapter after that, but we are actually going to get good ways through the feast, right? I don't think Oda would just cut short this list, this itinerary that he set up for us.
Especially since he did introduce it this chapter, it really sounds like he wants to go through with that first.
Yeah. Yeah, when Oda sets up these lists of things that you can tell that, oh boy, he's excited about getting to get to these things. It's look forward to this, look forward to that, look forward to that. So what do you think about that stuff?
So first of all, I really like the Smile character that was introducing the list, like this flying squirrel girl. I thought that was the first headline I remember seeing, which I thought really looked cool. That was a really cool design with the face veil and everything. I did like
Bobbins
that.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Bobbin.
Yeah, kind of like that. So that was really cool. I like that detail. As for the itinerary. Well, the party's already kind of going on, right, with Queen singing, so it was kind of sad that we're slowly moving on from that part. So I think the next thing is meeting Big Mom, right, and like receiving her crew. Which I'm really curious: is this just going to be the crew that we met right at the beginning of the arc, or are there more people coming in right from Whole Cake Island?
You know what's interesting? Last chapter, right? Like last chapter wasn't Queen was introducing the Tobi Roppo and stuff, but he was running down the list of people, right? And I swear he said the Big Mom pirates beforehand.
Yeah,
like he said,
no, that's
now,
what I thought.
yeah. So we would think that this is a new ship coming, or he was just alluding to the fact that the Big Mom pirates
Will
that
be
are already
coming.
at Wano are going to make an entrance. I don't know.
I guess so. I guess so. But yeah, I'm curious. So I personally, okay. So I know some people would probably have an issue with characters like Katakuri or Oven coming back into the arc. But I do personally think that would be really nice because this is kind of, the big arc for Kaido and Big Mom. And I do feel that, after being introduced to all 257 of her children, it feels like that it just would make sense to at least the most popular or the most prominent characters that we've met in Whole Cake Island have them be here and also, take part. Katakuri might be an exception to this because he did have this fight with Luffy and spent this much time with him. But maybe, just for interaction's sake, it would be interesting to have him there.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I'd say personally, I would love if most of the characters from Whole Cake Island made their way over.
Yeah.
I think Oven, I think there are characters who we should see more of, basically, even if we did see a good amount then.
Pudding,
I think we
of
haven't
course,
seen
yeah.
them in, actual fights and stuff like that. But Katakuri and Cracker, for me personally, I think I'd be totally fine if they stayed behind. And if we got like a quick short side story, like the Blackbeard Pirates attacking or something, that'd be really cool to see. So I don't know. That's why I partly hope that the ship hasn't shown up, because I'm hoping for something happening at Whole Cake Island as well. But
no,
it does. It does.
I'm curious how that's gonna turn out in general. And then, of course, the big announcement which is basically regarding his son Yamato, which I think is a cool name, by the way. I personally did not realize this when I was reading it the first time. Only after being bombarded by it in my comments, I realized that this is probably going to be a wedding announcement.
Oh, I did not realize that till you just told me after being bombarded in your comments. What?
So
yeah,
that makes total sense, right? Yeah.
Kaido and Big Mom wedding?
Well, not Kaido and Big Mom, but basically Kaido marrying Yamato off to one of Big Mom's children.
I misinterpreted that so hard. I was like, that's so random.
No, but basically, like two of their children marrying, right? Like as Big Mom always has a wedding to finalize her alliances. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, very true. Very true. That's actually really interesting. Oh man, poor Yamato.
Yeah, that's probably why he's gone.
Be hilarious if we got Pudding again.
That would be interesting.
But I don't think that's likely. It does, by the way, sound like Yamato. So we've been trying to speculate: is he weak? Is he strong? What is he? It sounds like he is strong. Because the Tobi Roppo mentioned, if I remember, that it'll be hard to get him, like to rein him in or something along those lines. Oh shoot! The official Viz translation's out now. Should have read this chapter. I just woke up. Yeah.
I just checked it out earlier. Yeah.
Did it say something similar that it's hard to catch him?
I think it was nothing that popped like that was very distinctively different from the first scan. But yeah. No, and I personally think I would also like to think from this chapter that Yamato is a stronger character, or at least skillful if he's hard to catch. So even if he's not strong, he might have some sort of skill that makes him hard to find or hard to get. So that's interesting. Do you believe the shadow that was following Robin and Jinbei that was Yamato?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I remember I had seen that comment somewhere, but I totally forgot about that by the time of this podcast. Yeah, that could easily be Yamato. I think that, that's probably the best bet at this point for basically, if we assume that Yamato's already been, like, out and about and stuff like that. So I do think that maybe we could be getting some interactions between Yamato and the Scribe soon. Or at least, I do want to see the Tobi Roppo in action, so I'm hoping that they do run into that Robin Jinbei group and get a mix of,
yeah. Oda has really made made a point out of hyping these 6 up the last 2 chapters.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited actually. How do you feel about the Tobi Roppo and Kaido and the Calamities interactions this chapter?
Right. Well, I thought it was pretty well written, because even though we basically only got to know them for like two fractions of 2 chapters, I think it was pretty clear what kind of people they are. So it was basically stated that they are ex-captains. So basically what Kaido was trying to accomplish, right, with Luffy and Kid, subdue their will and then make them part of their of his crew, right? And so I think that's very interesting, seeing them not following the Calamities orders, just Kaido, basically how they're kind of forcibly part of this crew. I thought that was very interesting. And then I still do think that their design is fantastic. After, like I said before, when we got to meet Queen, for example, I love Queen's design, and I personally don't have an issue with goofiness. But I think their design is really, something cool, something badass. I personally really like Sasaki the most, to be honest, even though I think I'm pretty alone with that opinion.
Wait, design-wise?
Yeah, I think he looks badass, like with the flaming coat, and like, I don't know, I think that's dope.
He does. I guess it's because Who's Who stole the show a little bit this chapter, among the Tobi Roppo at least. So I'm feeling more and more like his design is more and more badass, because it just fits with the character like a little bit. Like my image of him is going up basically along with my image of his design. Even though I know some people say it's a generic design, I'm like, no, I like it. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's also pretty dope.
Although King, of course, outshines everybody in terms of the design Oda came up with for him.
No, and he's pretty unique.
I think it's a cool dynamic that definitely that Oda set up this chapter. Like, a lot of infighting going on among the crew, or at least like continuous sort of struggle for hierarchy or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it, like that they are comfortable and confident enough to take on and like want to take on, asking for the chance to take on Jack or King or Queen. I think really speaks. Yeah, it really speaks for their abilities, I think. So I'm very excited to see them in action. And
I personally don't think any of them are going to be revealed to be strong enough to be a Calamity. Personally,
maybe not.
Like, part of it's just because it throws off the symmetry, because Jack, King, and Queen are like the right size. You know what I mean?
Well, but then that kind of makes me wonder: is that you mean size-wise? That's what you mean?
Like literally the right size.
Because
Jack. Okay. So no, it's that. So I don't know. Like, it's just the names are so neat. I don't think Oda's just gonna change that.
Well, I guess
size-wise, they're all lined up evenly.
But she's pretty tall. I think she's taller than Jack.
Yeah, she's not a giant like some people were saying.
No.
She's not a fisherman like I think we kind of threw around. Okay, we got a couple. We'll answer like 2 questions or something like that after
skip over to question.
Yeah, continue.
But yeah, no. So I think she was surprisingly tall. So I'm curious what's up with her, because she's, like you said, she's not giant size, but then she's also still a lot taller than King. Looks like roughly the same size as Kaido. So yeah. I'm excited to see them all in action for sure. Even page 1, like I was kind of disappointed of him when we first got him, though maybe that was also to show off Sanji a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that Oda gave us. My feeling right now is that he may be the weakest of the group. That's just my feeling right now. I don't know. You got that sense?
Yeah, no, I believe so too. But then again, it might also have to do something, with the matchup they get. So we'll see. I'm very excited for all of them.
Oh, also, quick thing I'll say before I forget. The girl Urti, right?
Yeah, I think like Ultimate or something.
Yeah, Ulti. I like her character a lot. She's one of the more fun villain type subordinate characters that we've had. It's like, I don't know, you don't just backtalk Kaido like that, but she seems to get away with it. It's really funny.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. So there. Let's move on to questions. I also just saw that you tweeted on Friday. Damn, that blew up. Nice. Didn't even.
Oh yeah, that was me complaining about the cover story. I had to get that out. I said it was a good chapter, but the cover story really bothered me.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But yeah, like I said, I usually pretend that the cover story doesn't even exist. So.
It's just not canon.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Alright, so I guess I'll pick one, you pick one.
Yeah, sounds
then
good.
Then maybe we do one more if we feel ambitious.
Otherwise, we already said that now that we have this on a separate channel, we might also be able to answer more questions in, when there's breaks, like next weekend. So maybe we can do a stream or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to start?
I was hoping you'd start.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Let's see. We did talk about a lot of things here. Top favorite Tobi Roppo designs. We kind of talked about that, I guess.
I'll just say this in the meantime. Michelle asks, why do you record the Wano Report before the official translation is out? Because that's just, it's after we read it. After we read it, we both want to talk about it generally. So, and we both read it before the official. And just timing-wise, it's easier to put it out earlier, reviews and stuff like that. So, yeah, we could wait till we still read the official afterwards. It's just when we both read it.
Yeah, it's also a scheduling thing, of course. Just turns out that Saturday is usually the best day to record this. Sometimes it falls on a Sunday, like today. So then we have the chance to read the official. But yeah, we definitely strongly encourage you to do read the official. Let's see.
I really don't know.
I like that there's a question in Portuguese. I do appreciate the spirit. I'm not sure if I can translate this though. What do you believe happens with Jinbei and Robin? Oh, okay, that was not as difficult. I can't pronounce that though.
Oh, wait, are you doing translations right now?
Oh, it's just. Oh, wait, is that? Oh,
you ran it through Google Translate?
No. I mean, I did. I did study some Portuguese some time ago.
Oh, wait, really?
It's just really bad. Let's see. We are. Oh, well, I guess. But we kind of talked about Robin and Jinbei already.
Yeah.
We should really select these questions beforehand.
I really don't know.
Do you think Tashigi is also somehow connected to Wano? Let's go with this one.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to personally say no, but I do think that Tashigi will be showing up in Wano. I think Tashigi really needs an arc that her... Because every time Oda writes her, he writes her basically learning the same lesson, but like in new ways, which is basically she's too weak to be able to do what she wants. She's frustrated by this. She wants to be able to get stronger. She's also obsessed with swords and stuff like that. I do think it's important for a lot of that stuff to come to a head at some point. I think Wano's the arc that would make the most sense for that happening for her. Well, not necessarily, I guess. Maybe I feel that Wano's the arc that it would make a lot of sense for that to happen for her. So I personally think that the Marines are going to be making their way to Wano, and I think Tashigi would be included, and I think it would make sense for her here.
And then Smoker joins the crew.
Yeah, so that's...
Wait, okay, one question to that, quickly, just shortly. Yeah. Do you think if a Smoker joins the Straw Hats, don't you, like, what happens to Tashigi?
If Smoker joins the Straw Hats, what happens to Tashigi? I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Either she stays in the Marines and kind of picks up where Smoker left off, maybe promotion and stuff like that, or she has her own sort of journey to start, but I don't think that she becomes a Straw Hat person.
Nice. Let's do one more, maybe.
Okay. Did you pick that one?
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to pick one?
So now you have to pick one, yeah.
I can't pick one. Some of these... Are you sure you don't want to pick another one?
Okay, let me check.
Oh boy. Okay.
Do you believe that people have been unnecessarily negative towards Wano? Yes.
I mean, people. Yeah, you will always find people who are unnecessarily negative towards being unnecessarily negative towards Wano.
Well, towards One Piece in general, I feel sometimes.
I do think that it's important to generally like let the story arc play out and then see. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's no. You can say unnecessarily negative towards Wano, I guess. But it also just depends on basically how this next portion of. It's how Act 3 plays out, I think, overall. And then, I think at the end of it, it'll be easier to make like hard or strong opinions basically either way.
Yeah.
But I do think like jumping on stuff every chapter of like this hasn't happened yet, why hasn't that happened? I think it's better to wait if possible.
I do agree. So there. Yeah, I guess this is a good spot to slowly wrap up this really short episode.
Yeah.
But I guess
Sorry, very short. Next one won't be as short.
Yeah, next one will be not as short, and we do hope you are fine, or we hope that you do subscribe at least to our new channel, to our shared channel. And for now, it'll just be the Wano Report. But as we said, we're gonna keep this open for other discussion, maybe episode or chapter reviews on other series, TV shows, books, movies, whatever we feel like doing. So make sure to subscribe here as well. But as always, obviously the Wano Report will also stay on Spotify and co, so you can listen to that there as well. Otherwise, yeah, drop us a comment maybe what you thought of the last chapter, and who do you believe that Kaido-san Yamato will have to marry? I'm curious what you think. And otherwise, anything else that I forgot?
No, that sounds good.
That does sound good. Oh yeah, one last thing maybe. If there's anyone that is very enthusiastic about designing intros or something like this, we're looking maybe to improve our intro sequence a little bit. So if you're interested in that, send it to the email. It's panel4panel@gmail.com. And yeah, if someone comes up with a nice intro sequence, then we will choose that. Thanks so much. See you around next time.